Welcome back to the Literally First Class podcast. This is episode 2 in the studio, you guys. I'm so excited. We did an outfit change. Now I'm like, okay, I think we need a locker. We need like a hanger. It's a brand new studio. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited for this question today, which comes to us again from the Somatic Success Society. Like, you guys think of the best questions. Seriously. And if you're not inside that Facebook community, you need to get in there. Click the link in the show notes below. It's a free community for women in business offering somatic strategies, free trainings, resources. Y'all get to be in my inner circle, so you hear about things first. And often we'll have, I don't want to say discounts because that's not really a word that we use in our world, but invitations, fast action bonuses where I get to give you more and incentivize you to take the next step in your transformational journey. So today's question comes from Rebecca Thomas, and her question is how to think bigger when you don't know what that is yet. Like, how do you think bigger? What does that mean? So I'm going to walk you through something I featured in a newsletter a while back, and that's the stages of success. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think that I had a 5 or 10-year vision until this year, 2025, and I've been doing this a long time. I've had a sense of what I want and where I want to go, but I have not had clarity on how that will come together, the pieces I need to have in place, what has to happen next in the way that I do right now. And I'm really fucking excited for that because this is such a different seat to be in. However, I needed to go through all of those other stages before I could have that clarity now. And the reason is because when you're in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship and ideation and creating something, you're really in the can I do it stage. This is like if you're thinking of a triangle, this is like the bottom is the beginning. Can I do it? You're really testing things out and you're learning and creating trust with yourself that you can show up, that you can get clients, that people want what you have, that you are a master of whatever the thing is that you're doing, selling and serving on. And that can be a long period, I'll tell you, especially if you've gone through a pivot or you are moving industries. Nobody likes to start over. I had one of my clients, she went from owning like a multi 7-figure insurance company and then moved over into trauma trained breath work and transformation and corporate trainings. And she was like, I want to build a business like you, but I'm like at the beginning again. And it's like really fucking humbling. And like, where do I start? Right. Because she was an expert in that field, in that industry with those contacts. And what we did was we worked on how we can transfer that 7-figure skill set into this so that she wasn't starting over and she got away from the can I do it and really said, okay, this isn't me starting over. This isn't like as hard of a reset as I'm thinking it is. I'm really just transferring my 7-figure skill set over. And I'm letting people know, like, here's how you can work with me now. And here's what I'm up to now because I've already built that Rolodex. I already have contacts. And now we're just mastering some of the skills that can validate charging for it. So it wasn't a hard reset. So that could be something, if that's where you're at, a pivot. The next stage of this, so after the beginning, we've got the stretch. I think I can do it, right? In the beginning, you're like really questioning, you're doubting, you're nervous, you're coming up with ideas. Maybe you're even collecting certifications and things to feel ready. I'm going to just tell you right now, you'll never feel ready. You'll never feel like you're smart enough, you're fast enough. But there's people, and you've heard this before, this isn't my quote, there's people doing things that are making a living that are less qualified than you. So you just have to start, honestly. So the next step is the stretch, right? It's I think I can do it, right? And you're really starting to build up some traction. You're getting momentum. You have clients that are signing on with you. You have people that are buying your services or your products, whatever business or industry you're in. We don't work with industry specific people. And now you're really starting to get your heels in and dig your heels in and build up that trust. This is a really fun place to be, but you're still uncertain about can I continue to do this, right? And this happens when we see those higher cash months come in or even higher revenue years. And I still see this at the multi-million-dollar level, I would say under the $3 million mark. It's like, can I still do this? I did it this year. Can I do it again next year? I did it this month. Can I do it again next month? If you're in the service industry, I did it this launch. Can I do it next launch? And so you're building things up, but there might be a little bit of that stop-go energy. The next level is the rocket, right? We're getting up toward the apex of business here. The rocket. I'm really doing it. You're just like, pinch me. I've got, you know, 5, 6 figure contracts coming in. I have more proof than I've ever had before. Clients are getting results. Clients are signing up. I'm serving and I'm up leveling and things are really taking off. It's super exciting. This place has a lot of momentum, but you have to be mindful because I see a lot of people lose momentum here because it's a stretchy place between you maybe being a solopreneur and starting to build out a team around this space, right? Because it's not you just thinking you can do it and kind of in the stop go energy anymore. Now you have momentum. You actually have people, again, let's say you're in the coaching space or you're serving clients. You have people that are doing fulfillment and you have people coming into your world, right? Signing on. And you start to feel a little bit stretched for time. And from this place, you might start to think about really nailing down your systems, starting to delegate more, multiply your team to multiply your efforts because you're going to realize the more people that come into your world, the more you're, really doing it, the more that you're going to become the bottleneck if you don't start to hire and to delegate and multiply those systems and really make sure that people are in place to help again cast a wider net. The next level up, the second from the top is the constellation, right? Watch me do it. Watch me do it. This is where you got your confidence game going. This is like where you are in the A game. You know things are working. Your team is dialed in. Your systems are clear. Everybody knows their role. And again, this doesn't have to be a large team. A large team doesn't necessarily mean a more productive team or a more profitable company, but this is where you just like, what you know. You're beyond the doubt. You trust yourself to make money. This is generally where I work with women. The one thing they have in common is they trust themselves to make money. It's like no matter what, they always can make money. So this is the watch me do it. It's a little bit like, yeah, like I know what I'm doing. Like I've got this. And if I lost it all tomorrow, I could rebuild it again and I would be okay because you've been through the systems and all of that. Between the rocket and the constellation, this is again a very challenging place to be because you are still running the show, still building systems while you're training people, and things are not fully delegated yet. You are basically operating two types of companies. It's your B2B, like your internal, your in-house stuff, and then your B2C, like your business to clients, like who you're serving, how you're serving them. So you're training a lot of people. You're probably in a lot of meetings. Again, it depends on the model that you have, but if you're starting to build a team, that's generally what I see. And then the top, the Apex, hence the name Apex Academy, which is the program I built for women that are looking to grow their business from a multi 6 figure, map out their 7 figure year company, whatever. And you know what? It doesn't even have to, like your Apex, to be clear, it doesn't even have to be 7 figures. I find a lot of women do want that. And so we're moving through upper limits. We're moving through self-sabotage. We're doing the nervous system work around all of that and a little less of the strategy, even though we touch on strategy inside the Apex Academy. So, side note, if you know that that's something that sounds interesting and that you've been eyeing, that you know would be beneficial for you because you're like, man, I know I'm just in my own way. I know that I just need a little bit more support. I need a guide and a mentor to help me break through all those inner barriers and invisible walls. That's the program for you. We'll put the link below. You can just drop an application in and we'll review it and let you know if it's a fit. But the apex is really where we see people start to expand their portfolio of companies. If they choose to, they start maybe a nonprofit, maybe they start a second company, a third company, maybe they start investing in another company. Their profits are healthy and they're starting to multiply their wealth. They're starting to look at where their money is working for them. As you know, Jake and I have invested in a few pieces of real estate. One of them didn't work out so well. Well, we'll find out, right? I can't really talk about that yet, but that house, the Airbnb, burned down, unfortunately. But we've chosen to invest in real estate. You might think about where you want to invest dollars in somebody else's mission, a physical product, another service, an app, something else that helps people. So I say all of this, I take you through all the stages of success for the reason that you might not be in the place to receive or be able to hold that clarity of what that vision is. For a long time, I was probably between the stages of 1 and 2, really trying to figure out how do I do this? Like, can I do it? And, I think I can do it. And I was there for a very long time, like 10 years. It doesn't have to be that hard for you, by the way. What closed the gap and the timeline for me was hiring mentors. I didn't know that that was an option. I didn't know people, I didn't know the world of development. I didn't know people could be your business coach and help you save time, and literally speed up, from A to Z, your goals. I didn't know that that was an option. I mean, I started personal training in 2008. I took things online, and I say it in quotes because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in 2012. That really wasn't that long ago when you think about it, but it was like the era of ebooks and blogs, and like Instagram was just coming to the scene. So I think literally I joined Instagram in 2012. And I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that I wanted to impact people. I knew I wanted to do purpose-driven work. And at the time I was serving in fitness and health. And in some capacity, I'm still in the health field. It's just more of the mental health and wellness. So it's kind of funny, all of the unfolding. Now, I was married, living a whole different life at the time. He was the breadwinner in our house. I think my highest year was like $36,000. And I thought I had made it big when my tank tops went viral, but then Target ripped them off. I've had so many setbacks over the years, but they were really just preparation for being here right now. Then you add to the mix running an online anything, and shit moves fast, doesn't it? Like, there's an app update. My Instagram got hacked last year. Like, now Reels was never even a thing before. Like, before you had a static post, 2012 static post, then it goes into carousels, then it goes into reels. Like, it's constantly changing, and you have to be agile and be willing to evolve, right? And that takes a lot of work in a very fast changing world, especially where your storefront is virtual and online. So I didn't have any sense of stability probably until the last year, where I was like, I got this, whatever this is, I can do this. I can handle any setback. And I started saying that to myself, like, when there was a setback, because you better believe there will be a setback. And when you have really great success, you can absolutely know that there will probably be a great downfall as well. And that's part of the process. That's part of the hills and the valleys of entrepreneurship. But if you start taking on the saying, like, whatever it is, I can handle it, you are just going to move through those things so much faster. And if you hire the right mentors, hint, hint, go join the Apex Academy, submit an application. When you hire the right mentors, they do close time for you because they will help prepare you for things that you can't see yet because you don't have the clarity yet. Maybe you haven't gone through that stage of business yet. And that they have that foresight to help prepare you to say, hey, like, have you thought of this? Or have you considered this? Or, when you get here, what do you think is going to happen next? Like, where do you want to go from there? And they will help prepare you and create a roadmap that you can essentially future-proof your business with, which I think is worth every dollar, everything that you can put into it when you hire that mentor to help save you time and help you see a future point in time. So to answer your question, Rebecca, we have to be honest with the stage that we're in business. If we're still in those first 3 stages, it might be really hard to know how to think bigger or even what that big picture can look like. We might not be ready for that yet. The reason I know I'm ready is because I had clarity and I could see it. I'm going to give you a visual because I love visuals. And the visual is this. When you're in the first 3 stages, you've got a pair of goggles on in the ocean, but your head is looking down in the water at the fish and the coral below. It's a beautiful view, but it's a very limited vantage point. You are in your, 3x3. That's it. You're in your square, you're looking down, and that's your whole world. But what you didn't realize is that when you look up, there's a whole ocean out there and there's a horizon line. And that horizon line is where you're headed and where you're going. It's the ultimate vision. I'm talking 5, 10, 20 years of legacy vision. I'm not talking like, you just want to impact people. I'm asking how. With what? What are you leaving behind when you're no longer here? How will you do that? What people do you need in place? What needs to happen before you can do that, right? Do you need to increase your profits? Do you need to have this in place? Do you need to hire that team member? Do you know your zone of genius? Do you know where your gaps are in your team so that you can hire to fill those gaps in with that peanut butter jelly effect that I love to talk about? Those questions are really important to answer. And it's okay if you don't know the answer to those yet, because there might still be things that you've got to learn and establish before you get to have that clarity and seeing ahead. So it's okay to be where you're at is maybe the answer that you weren't looking for, but that's my answer to this question. You just might not be ready. You might be in a different stage, and there might be further refinement and preparation that God is really calling you to do so that when you lift your head up out of the ocean and you look down at the horizon line, you know exactly where you're going and exactly how you're going to do it. And that's going to be the fastest way to make it happen. All right. I hope this was helpful. Click those links below in the show notes. And please, if you would do me a favor, if you can just you know, at the end of this episode here, just go and leave us a review. I would so appreciate it because that helps other women just like you listen and find this incredible podcast, female founders that are looking to level up in business, mental health, and really understand like the world of somatics and like what's going on with nervous system work to help leaders become their absolute best selves. All right, that's all for now. I'll see you on the next episode of Literally First Class.